الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم ولا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. Come closer inshallah please. Love. May Allah Ta'ala give us profit from this discussion. So inshallah tonight we'll speak about Ruqya. So in the morning we'll do sessions on Quran inshallah and Tafseer and commentary of Quran. So we're going to start speaking today about Soorat Yusuf alayhi salam. So this Soorat is the longest story we have in Quran, the best story, as Allah says in the beginning of the Surah. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص. We relate to you the best stories in this Quran. And there's two ways of understanding the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. First way is that this boy was oppressed by his brothers who threw him in the well to get rid of him. But Allah Ta'ala made that the people who brought him also, the Jews were wicked, they wanted to get some money out of him, so they took him and sold him. But Allah made that it was a minister that bought him and took him as a son because he did not have children. So Yusuf alayhi salam was in a very good position in Egypt. But then another test arrived with the wife of the minister and ended up him being in prison. So there again, looks like the story is finished and there's no way out. But Allah made that the king had a dream and Yusuf was the one who explained the dream, and that's how he became minister, then he became king. So we can say that because of him being pious, so all these tests ended well and Allah gave him the good of dunya and akhirah. Now I'm going to give you a second approach of this surah, which is totally different. In the whole of Quran, apart from Surah Yusuf alayhi salam, there's only one verse who speaks about Yusuf alayhi salam. In the whole of Quran, apart from Surah Yusuf, there's only one verse who speaks about Yusuf alayhi salam. It is in Surah Ghafir, Surah Al-Mu'min, in the story of Musa alayhi salam, when Musa came after generations to preach the Banu Israel and the people of Egypt. So Israel, he is Yaqub, the father of Yusuf alayhi salam. So the sons of Israel are the sons of Yaqub. So his 12 boys are the heads of the 12 tribes of Banu Israel. So they were in Palestine, and in the end of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, he brought all his brothers and their families down to Egypt. And after generations, they become slaves. And that's when Allah sent Musa alayhi salam to take them out of slavery and back to Palestine. And there was one person from the people of Fir'aun, who was an Egyptian, not the Banu Israel, who believed in Musa alayhi salam. And he started giving da'wah also to the people of Egypt, and he said, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ يُوسُفُ مِنْ قَبْلُ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. Yusuf has brought you the proofs previously. What Musa alayhi salam is telling us, that there's one God and he's his prophet, we already know this. Yusuf said the same thing. فَمَا زِلْتُمْ فِي شَكٍّ مِّمَّا جَاءَكُمْ بِهِ. But you always doubted of what he said. حَتَّى إِذَا هَلَكَ قُلْتُمْ لَنْ يَبْعَثَ اللَّهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ رَسُولًا. And when he died, you said that Allah will not send any other messenger. So before Yusuf alayhi salam died, all the Egypt believed in Allah and his messenger. So now we're going to look at the story from this point of view, that Allah Ta'ala sent one person to this country who was a great country, a big civilization compared to all the small countries around, like Palestine and all those small, and they did not have any civilization or power. So it was like you say United States in all of America. So Allah sent one person only to this country, and he was a child, and he was a slave, and he was a foreigner, and he was alone, and he made da'wah, and he did efforts until the whole of the country became Muslim, became believer. So Allah Ta'ala is giving us an extreme example of da'wah, of lack of means and greatness of result. You see? And now we understand how this story is related to the life of Prophet ﷺ in Mecca, because they were few and Allah gave them the responsibility for the whole world, and years were going by. Their own tribe of Quraysh was not accepting them, and the Arabs are all idol worshippers and following Quraysh. After that there's the Romans and the Persians that are big empires that even the Arabs all together cannot fight them. So years are going by. So of course someone with his understanding would say, how are we going to bring this Islam to the whole world? How can we do this responsibility? So Allah gives them this example of Yusuf alayhi salam, that he was alone and you are a group, and he was a child and you are men, and he was a slave and you are free people, and he was a foreigner and you are in your own country. So from all points of view you are advantaged. So you cannot say that you have a lack of means and you don't have the means to spread this Islam. And this is the example of Yusuf alayhi salam. So we're going to look at the surah as a model of Da'i. This Da'i did his mission from A to Z, and Allah is showing us how he has done, how he accomplished this mission and how he did so that Iman spread in Egypt. So this surah is divided in two parts. First part is education, and second part is utilization. And that's how Islam works. First, Allah Ta'ala is going to educate us. So we get the qualities and the Iman and the sacrifice and the efforts and the level that Allah wants. And once we reach there, Allah is going to use us for Islam. And that's how Islam works. So it's not a problem of having means, of having money, of having power, of having weapons. It is a problem of having Iman and qualities that Allah requires. So if we did not manage to spread Islam and to do the work, that means Allah did not accept us because we did not do the correct effort and we did not get the qualities that Allah wants. Okay, so we're going to start by the second half, which is the utilization from Allah. What happened in Egypt that made everybody believe? What happened? It happened that there were 7 years of abundance and followed by 7 years of dryness. And Yusuf alayhi salam, he explained this dream to the king, and he told the king, you have to give me the responsibility of handling this situation. Give me the responsibility of all the economy of this country. Because if you will give that responsibility to any of your people, they're going to spoil that money because they are corrupted. And when the abundance will be there, they will be cheating everything, but when the dryness will come, the population will die. Even if the rich people can make it out, but your country will be finished. And the king gave him that responsibility. So you can imagine in those first 7 years of abundance, and the army is collecting half the production, half the crops for all the country, how everybody is angry. What's happening? This guy is eating all the goods of the country, and the army is coming every year to take half of our, and we are going on diets as if it was crisis time. But what's happening? So everybody is not happy, complaining. But Yusuf alayhi salam held on, and the king also. And after those 7 years, come a year with dryness, no production at all. And Yusuf alayhi salam is feeding the whole population from those reserves. And so they say, at least he has kept something. But second year, 3 years, up to 7 years without any production, and Yusuf is feeding all the population. So they're going to say, how is this possible? How did he know that this is going to happen? And everybody will know that the king made a dream, and Yusuf alayhi salam was the only one who could explain that dream and handle the situation. So Allah sent us this person to save us from death and to save us from hell. And that's how everybody believed in Allah and His Prophet. You see? So you all understand that this situation is from Allah. No one can ever plan to do such a dawah project, that there's going to be abundance and then there's going to be dryness. This is in the hands of no one but Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. So Allah made that situation and made that Yusuf alayhi salam was the good person in the right place to handle that situation. Now there's a second cause that made everybody to love Yusuf alayhi salam and to follow Yusuf. It is the way he was distributing the goods. Yusuf alayhi salam gives to everyone the same quantity for no money, for nothing. And you see when his brothers came, because when the abundance came to Egypt, it was also in Palestine. But the people in Palestine, they did not keep anything because they did not think that some problem was going to happen after. And when the dryness came, so from the first year, they had no more food. So they heard that the king in Egypt had some reserve, so they brought their goods to buy food. So they came, they say, we come from Palestine, our situation is difficult, we have come to buy food, this is what we have. And Yusuf told them, don't tell me what you have brought, tell me how many you are. Because what we give you is according to your number. Because it is a survival need, that we're going to give you what you need to survive for 1 year. It's not that you are rich, you'll get more, you have nothing, you'll get nothing. So this is what Yusuf was doing for everybody. You can come with plenty of money, say I want this and that, or you can come with nothing, crying that I have children, I have nothing, you'll get the same thing, and you'll pay nothing. And Yusuf will tell him, this is not my food, this is yours. You have worked, you have planted, and you have gathered it, we are keeping it, we're giving back to you. We are only here to serve you, subhanallah. This is something we can hardly ever hear a politician really saying that I am here to serve you. And we all understand that they are there to serve themselves, isn't it? So this is incredible. This man has done all this and he's giving us and he's not taking anything. La ilaha illallah. It's incredible. So that made everybody love him. And you see how this da'wah was for everybody, the old, the young, the men, the women, the criminals, everybody. And not only Yusuf alayhi salam broke the shirk and the kufr in this country, but also the corruption. Because that's another topic, but Allah shows us in this Soorat how this society is very corrupted. And in some places where corruption is too much, if you say, for example, I want to eradicate shirk from Trinidad, so they're going to say, this person doesn't know what he's talking about. How is shirk here? But if I say, I want to eradicate corruption from Trinidad, say, this guy's, how? We're into this for decades. It's no one, all the people who try, they claim, but then nothing. But Allah made that Yusuf alayhi salam has eradicated both. You see? So what he told his brothers, so he told them, I want to know how many you are. They say, well, we are here. There's our father who stayed in the village, and also our brother who's with our father. So he said, okay, your father is an old man, we will not need to bring him, but you must bring your brother. So I will see him and I will give him his share. They said, no problem. And he tells them, next year if you come without your brother, I will give you nothing for any of you, because I know you're liars. And they say, what is this next year? What is he talking about? We have come because it is dryness this year. Is it going to be dryness next year? What's he talking about? But Yusuf alayhi knows that this dryness is going to last 7 years, and there's nowhere they can get any food except with him. Because Yusuf alayhi is giving everyone just what he needs to survive, so no one can sell it. No one can give it. There's no black market. Nowhere to go except to him. So whatever they do, they have no solution but to come to him for the food. So he knows it. And he tells them this is what's going to happen. And they brought their brother, etc. So this is the second part of the surah. The utilization from Allah. How Allah made that all the country has believed. Now we come back to the first part, which is the education. And the education is divided in two parts. So we're going to see, because I'm a mathematician by nature, so it's going to be very mathematical. So the education is divided in two parts: the efforts and the test, the ibtila. And that's how it works. What's like in school? You work, then you pass exams. And you work and you pass exams. If you don't pass exams, you cannot go to next level. If you don't work, there's no use passing exams. And that's how religion works. You make efforts to be pious, to learn, to preach, to do everything that Allah asked, and Allah is going to give you exams, tests, so that you will learn more and get more. You see, for example, if you learn to make Qiyam al-Layl, alhamdulillah, you try to pray. But if your son is ill, or you have gone to doctor, the doctor says your wife has a cancer, may Allah protect us, or your son did not come home from school, how is your Qiyam al-Layl going to be? Very different, isn't it? Very, very, very different. So that ibtila, that test, that hardship will make you much stronger in your iman, in your patience, in your effort, in your dedication, in your dua, and keeping away from sins and thinking of Allah, everything. And that's how we are. We need that. Otherwise you'll just be sleeping and lazy. So that's how it goes. Effort and exam, test. Now these tests are also divided into two. There's the good ones and the bad ones. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. Allah said we test you with bad and good. And the story starts with a good test. That Yusuf a.s. sees in the dream sun and moon and 11 planets making sujood to him. So he tells his father, he did not understand. His father did not understand the dream, but his father told him that this dream is part of prophecy. And Allah made me prophet, my father Ishaq, my grandfather Ibrahim prophet, so you're going to be a prophet. Allah is going to continue this rahmah with you. So he did not understand the dream, but he understood that Allah is going to make you a prophet. Allah is going to give you the understanding of dreams, and this is the entrance into prophecy, so Allah is going to make you a prophet. So imagine this news. Well, we can't imagine because there's no more prophets, but in time of Banu Israel, everybody can have the hope to become prophet, mashallah, but this is not possible. But Yusuf a.s. was a young boy, loving Allah, loving his father, loving deen, and now Allah shows him he's going to be prophet, you see. So he's going to love deen even more. If he's not interested in dunya, he'll be even less interested, and he does not need to think about his future, his job, his marriage. I'm going to be prophet, so Allah is going to handle everything, you see. So Allah can give you a situation that will double your iman by a dream, by meeting someone, by something happening in your life that will just increase your iman as a present from Allah. So when do you get that? When you do the efforts and you have the constant demand of iman, of hidayah. Do efforts and demand until Allah Ta'ala gives you. Look like the story of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They were sitting in the morning in the mosque. There's no salat time, just sitting in the morning. And they were with the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, all silent. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was silent, they're all silent. What are they doing? What are they doing in morning time? Silent, not learning, not asking, not nothing around the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They are expecting some news, some hadith, some anything, any mission Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will give them. They are here for his khidmah to learn, waiting, expecting, making dhikr silently, expecting what can happen. When we all know Jibreel a.s. came in. He came in. He did not say salam. They did not reply to salam because he did not say salam. He came across. He crossed the group until sitting in front of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So what's this? You're supposed to sit in the end of the group. But because Rasulullah did not say anything, they did not say anything. If Rasulullah said, stop him, they will stop him right away. But he did not say. And Allah said, لا تقدموا بين يدي الله ورسوله. And don't take position in front of Allah and His Prophet. And don't do something if Allah and His Prophet did not say to do that. So, because Rasulullah is there, he did not say that. And he puts his knees on the knees of Prophet and his hand, and he asks, Ya Muhammad, and tell me about Islam. And he replies, and he says, Sadaqt, you're right. Your answer is correct. And they're surprised. Who is this guy telling Rasulullah that what you said is correct? Like a teacher. But they say nothing. And when he finished, he went, and they're all confused. Who's this man? What happened?
what's this? Because his clothes are so clean, and he's not from Medina, he's a foreigner. How can he arrive in this city without being covered with dust? So they're all confused, but no one says nothing, because if there's something to say, Rasulullah would say, but he said nothing, so they just keep quiet. Until Rasulullah said, do you know who this man is? And they say, Allah wa Rasuluhu a'lam. And now he explained, this is Jibreel alayhi salam. So imagine how their faith will go boom. That Jibreel alayhi salam came and sat with us, and they all record with their mind, because it is total silence and everybody's focused on him. So everything he said, everything he did, they all record in their minds. You see how their iman is going to increase. This is hadiyah from Allah. So when Salat Dhuhr will come and people will come say, hey, Jibreel came this morning, sat with, where is he? I want to see him. I will come back tomorrow. No, tomorrow. The one who had that chance, they had it. The others will just hear the news, like us, you see. So this is the good ibtila. And after that comes the bad ibtila. That Yusuf alayhi salam was thrown into the well by his brothers. So what is the meaning of this ibtila? The meaning is that the man is attached to his security and to his needs, and we want everything to be organized and secure. This is my house, this is my money, in case my retirement has to be there. If I'm ill, I have to need some insurance for my illness, from this, that. We want everything to be secure. And Allah Ta'ala does not like the need of man in material security. Allah wants us to trust Him and not to rely on our worldly things. So Allah took off Yusuf alayhi salam everything he had, his family, his sheep, his parents, his house, even his identity. Even his identity. If you have a good passport, mashallah, that allows you to travel everywhere, that gives you rights in your country, that's so fantastic, isn't it? When you're in the country, you don't have proper papers, you're just hiding, you cannot travel, you're afraid that police catch you. How's that life? Very difficult. You see? So, you see, each one of us, that good ID card you have, we can't imagine how much it weighs in our hearts. So that Allah took off him. He has become a good for sale. No more identity. And in the same time, Allah tells him in the will, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. We reveal to him, you will tell them what they have done without them knowing you. So Allah tells him, don't worry, everything that's happening, Allah knows it. What's going to happen after? Allah knows it. In the end, you're going to win. You will be the winner. So Allah tells him, you have lost everything, but Allah is with you, so you have lost nothing. That is what you have to learn, that you just need Allah. You just need that Allah is happy with you. That's all you need in your life. Everything you think, I need this house, I need this job, I need this. No, that's wrong. It's just an illusion. The reality is that you only need Allah. As long as Allah is happy with you, you're fine. Everything's fine with you, with all your situation. And Allah Ta'ala made that within hours, within little time, Allah changed everything he lost into better. Because he went, the first people who found him, they said, this is our luck, we're going to sell this boy. And they took him to Egypt and they sold him for cheap price, broken price. You see, as if someone has stolen something and he just gives it away for low price because it is benefit for him and he's afraid that something is going to happen, they're going to catch him, so just want to get rid of it quickly. وَشَرَوْهُ بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودَةٍ. Incredible. For a few dollars, and they sold him. How you break someone's life for a few dollars? People have no pity in their hearts. And the man who brought him, he brought him to adopt him. And Rasulullah said, the person who's got the biggest farasa, clear sight, is the man who bought Yusuf alayhi salam. Because when he saw him in the slave market, he understood that this boy is an exceptional boy. And he took him to be his son, and Allah says, وَقَالَ الَّذِي اشْتَرَاهُ مِن مِصْرَ لِامْرَأَتِهِ. The one who bought him in Egypt told his wife, when he brought him home, that this boy I have brought not to work the house or to do the garden or whatever, it is to be my son. We're going to treat him good, educate him. If he's the way I think, I'll take him as my son. Of course, Yusuf ﷺ will not deceive his master. And day after day, he realized that this son is incredible that I have got. So Yusuf had a better house, a better food, a better everything than what he left in Egypt. Most of all, a better education than what he left in Palestine, better education, because schools, and this is not from today. And Egypt, up to now, we don't know how they built their pyramids. Up to now, we don't know how they mummified their dead people. Up to now, we cannot figure out how to read their writing. So all this was a great civilization, and Yusuf ﷺ got to learn everything about it. You see? So Allah made that he learned deen with his father, and then Allah sent him to Egypt to learn dunya, to have both for the mission Allah is preparing him for. Okay? And of course the love of the parents cannot be replaced, but the adoptive parents, they have too much love, excessive love, when they have been waiting for a child so long. Plus Yusuf ﷺ had 11 brothers, now he was alone. So when you are a single child, you have father and mother only caring about you, your food, your everything. And when a mother has just one son, no daughter, she will take him like a girl, make him like a mashallah, to do everything for him. So Allah changed all that. Now the ibtila, the test, is also divided in two, and we're going to finish closely. Okay? So remember, the Soorat is divided in two. There's education and then utilization by Allah. The education is divided in two. There is efforts and tests, and the tests are divided in two: the good ones and the bad ones. And the bad ones are divided in two. There is the bad test when you have done a mistake, and the bad test when you have done no mistake. You understand? It's two different situations. So in the situation of the well, Yusuf ﷺ did not do any mistake. It just fell on him like that. They put him in the well. So in that situation, Allah will change all the evil of the test into good. So Allah changed all this problem that he lost into a better situation. Okay? So that means that as long as you have done nothing wrong with Allah, no one can harm you. All those who want to harm you, Allah will change that situation into better. So the only thing you need to worry about is that Allah being pleased with you, and you being straight on Allah Ta'ala's commandments. Now, if you have done a mistake, and because of this mistake Allah Ta'ala is going to punish you, to test you, to educate you, now that situation is very different. And the rule that works in that situation is that the education of Allah is very hard. That means Allah is going to give you a punishment or an education that you will never forget in your life. So I give you the example of Rasulullah ﷺ when he forgot to say Insha'Allah. You see, when you say that Rasulullah ﷺ or Yusuf ﷺ has done a mistake, does not mean that he has done a sin. But according to his level of Iman, that is not acceptable by Allah. If any of us forgets to say Insha'Allah, that's not even a matter to talk about. I did not even hear a khutbah Jumu'ah in my life saying that, hey, people, you must not forget to say Insha'Allah, because it's not something that we can worry about. That if you said, okay, I'm coming tomorrow, and you did not say Insha'Allah, what is the problem? Rather say Insha'Allah. Yes, of course, Insha'Allah. That's all. Is it? There's nothing else to say about it. But when Rasulullah forgot to say Insha'Allah, in Mecca, they got the Jews of Medina to ask him questions, to block him, and he said, I'll answer you tomorrow, and he did not say Insha'Allah. So the wahi did not come for 1 month. And for 1 month, everybody was saying, now we got him, now he's done, he's stuck. He's been saying all those lies. Now we know he's a liar. He said tomorrow. It's been 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And Rasulullah suffered so much in this month. Suffered, not for humiliation, but for his worry of people that will not believe. So that when Allah gave the answers, And Allah told him, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى آثَارِهِمْ إِنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. Are you going to kill yourself because of them? So much you have worry that they will not believe. So much Rasulullah suffered, you see? So that is the type of education that you'll never forget again in your life, to say inshallah. Now that is the education of Allah. Allah is going to give you a lesson for life, that you'll never forget that what you have done and what happened to you, so you'll never do that again. That's the education of Allah. So what is the mistake of Yusuf alayhi salam? When he was in prison, and why was he in prison? Because the wife of the minister wanted him, and everybody, she told all the ladies about it, and now the situation, the minister met with his advisors how to do with this situation. So they tell him what to do. Your wife is telling the whole city that she absolutely wants to sleep with your slave. Well, does this need any more mashwara? You have to divorce this wife. Oh, are you not a man? How can you accept this situation? But the minister had a secret that was difficult to share with people, is that after he's going to die and Yusuf is going to marry his wife finally, and he will find her virgin. So that man was important, could not do anything with his wife. So why getting married? Well, he's hoping and trying and looking for a remedy, but once he's lost hope, now he's looking to adopt a child, because he knows that he cannot have a child himself, even if he takes 10 wives, because he cannot do anything. So this was difficult for him to tell people that in fact this is the situation. And that also means that he cannot blame his wife, because he cannot do his duty as a man. Well, it's not an excuse. He can divorce and get a normal man. But anyway, that means that he's stuck in this situation, so he'll say, no, leave my wife, give me another clue. Leave your wife. So the other clue is to get rid of Yusuf alayhi salam. And that's how they put him in prison, with no trial, with no charge, with no term, nothing. They just put him in prison. Not even registered. I mean, if someone comes to the prison, I want to see Yusuf, no, we have no Yusuf here. Just put him like that. Out of law, totally out of legal process. And so he met those two young people, and they told their dreams, and what happened actually, the king was poisoned, and they took the cook and the one who was serving wine, put them in prison. By the time they investigate, and it was the cook who put the poison. So Yusuf told him, you're going to die and you're going to come back to the king. And he told that one who's coming back to the king, tell him about me, that you have found this man who's totally innocent in prison. And this is the word Allah did not accept for many reasons. First reason is that Allah does not want us to think that our good is in the hand of anyone but Allah. That this man can solve my problem, that he can help me out, he can do this for me. No, Allah does not want. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلْكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلْكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنْزِعُ الْمُلْكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ. The good is in your hands. Allah wants us to know that all our good is in the hand of Allah, not in the hand of anyone else. And that's one. Second is that Yusuf has preached those two, calling them to Allah, to Akhirah, to everything. And there's a contradiction in coming to speak to people about deen, Allah, and then in the end you said, well, brothers, I have a problem, I'm here, I need this and that. That means using the respect people have for you, considering deen, to get your material needs. And this is why all prophets used to say, وَمَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ أَجْرٍ إِنْ أَجْرِيَ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ. I don't ask you any reward for this. It's only Allah who's going to reward me. Third reason is that Yusuf salam tried an illegal process to solve his problem. You see? Now, corruption or using someone who can come in to arrange your situation, if it is to get something that is not your haqq, that is not your right, so that is haram. Okay? If it is to get something that is your right, it is not haram. For example, someone will take your papers and will not give it back until you pay him. So you are a victim. You are a victim, and if you pay, he's doing haram. You're not doing haram. But or if you get someone that, yeah, I know your chief, I'll call him and you give me my papers back. So fine, you got out of the problem. Yet it is better to have a civilian resistance and ask for the law to be applied without any cheating. It is better, because if everyone says no, I have no choice, I have to pay, so our situation is never going to change, and we're going to just keep on going like that for generations. You see, so we need to fight it, to resist it, even though it's not haram, as long as it is just to get your own right that you have been deprived of. Okay, but for someone in the level of Yusuf alayhi salam, Allah does not accept that. Accept him to do that. What is acceptable for normal people, and so that's why he stayed in prison many years. And look how the behavior of Yusuf alayhi salam totally changed after those years. So after years in prison, and the story seems to be ended, because there's no way we can see how Yusuf can go out of prison or something was going to happen again. So Allah sent a dream to the king, and no one understood. And that man who was serving wine to the king, he was there, and he remembered Yusuf and came to tell him, hey Yusuf, we have a problem. The king has done a dream, no one is understanding it. So Yusuf, imagine, you're in prison for so many years, and he comes to tell you that the king has a problem. The king has a problem. Don't you think that I have a problem here? I'm in prison for so many years with nothing, no way out, and you're telling me that the king, who's in the palace with everything, that he's got a problem? What's this? Don't you think a bit that I have a problem here? It is the king who has a problem. You see, so any normal person would say, well, take me out of here first. What are you asking me to? I'm the king, and I'm in prison like this for so many years for no reason. But Yusuf did not say anything. You see, and he just gave him the explanation. He could have given half the explanation or some negotiation. Well, if I give you a clue, what are you going to do for me? Or he would give them half and keep half. So then come back, please, 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 what is the rest of the story? But he just gave him everything. So all that came out of his heart. The importance of the king, the desire to come out of prison, it's always out of his heart. He does not care about it at all. Only needs Allah. That's it. If you want me to stay, I stay. If you want me to go out, I go out. I have no irada, no will of my own, except what Allah wants. And when the king heard, when they heard, he came, gave that explanation. So something special happened. Is what? Is that dream? No one had any clue, of any small clue, to understand that dream. But as soon as he gave the explanation, everybody saw it was it. No one questioned, well, what are you saying? No, this is nonsense. No, forget this. No, everybody knew that was it. So the king said, who gave you this? Where did you get this from? Said, well, you remember that year when the prison problem happened and we were in prison, so we met someone, he's so pious, he's got so much karamat, and he's still there in prison, he's done nothing. So the king said, bring him, go get him. So they came, Yusuf, come, where? To the king's palace. The king's waiting for you. What does he say? No, I cannot go out. If you want me to go out, you have to go to the court and open the case again and bring the witnesses and see if I'm guilty or innocent. If I'm guilty, I have to finish my term. If I'm innocent, it is the court who must decide. The king does not have the right to put someone in prison or take him out of prison. What you are telling me is illegal. You have to follow the legal procedure. You see? That means that other year we did a small zigzag. No more now. You have to follow the legal procedure. And no more of this, go in, go out of prison. What is this? The king tells someone to go out of prison. What is this? What kind of organization of law of this? Ajib. So Yusuf is showing the king how to respect his own law. It is incredible. And the king did exactly what he said. And he saw that Yusuf was innocent. So now he has to go out of the prison with the excuses of the king and of all the system. Because he the king, his ministry, and his director of prison, everyone has failed to his duty and got this man in prison for years for absolutely no reason. So they all need to give them excuses to him. You see? So that's how the behavior of Yusuf has then totally changed after these years in prison. So that was the result of the education. So now the question I'm giving you, I told you that the education goes up to the acceptation by Allah until Allah accepts us, and then He's going to use us for His deen. So what is the criteria? What is the turning point that will make Allah to accept us and then to use us for His deen? So the turning point, Allah is going to accept you when you only have Allah in your heart. That is it. Very simple. That is what Allah wants. And as long as you are attached to material, to money, to power, to yourself, to anything, you're still going to go through efforts and test and effort and test to clean your heart and to clean your life from anything else than Allah. And when you have only Allah in your heart, so no one can still harm you or do anything to you, and Allah is going to use you for His work. May Allah accept us and guide us. Sorry for being so long. Inshallah, we'll continue every day after Subh, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.